send it to the right next person for an answer.
Thanks, John.
You can, well, I could give my email, sure. You'd have to write that down.
They can call.
Yeah, let's call the town clerk, call Mandy Constable.
They can call Teresa too, she's the water clerk.
Or Teresa Hines, the
I like the
water
signs
clerk.
on the door. I like the signs on the door. That'd be nice.
What's that? Could be over
How
100.
many people?
Terry probably knows the answer. How many
many
years
people
old is
are
that?
It depends.
The
How
center
many
of
comes
town,
down,
6-inch
there
main is
might
over
be
100
as
years
many
old.
as 8, or
How many years
maybe
exactly?
6,
Not exactly.
10.
He was asking, is
No.
it under
Depends
5?
on-
We're probably gonna have to
in
do
here.
some carbon dating.
There'll be a shovel truck, there'll be
Yeah.
excavators, a loader, the truck hauling in.
It's the
truck
same
hauling
age
out.
as Casey. Oh, Main Street resident.
If you're done in 60 days.
Terry, is there anything we missed?
No,
60
Can
days,
everybody be quiet, please?
lunch is only.
You'll be surprised if things go well.
yeah, no, if anybody needs to contact me, I'm there. Like I said, I'll be, we have an inspector, Don will be there, but obviously I'll be, back and forth and, when we gotta do, but, we have other things, other departments to run and things, so, we can't be down there every minute, but we're available.
Yeah.
And Jason's going to give an update on the sewer treatment plant.
Well, that's what we'll go with Terry.
Oh, water, I'm sorry, treatment plant.
As people know or don't know, this Main Street line is just a small, not small, but a major portion of a much larger project. We're also redoing the water treatment facility. So we're in the middle of construction on that. We actually put an addition on the existing treatment building, so we can put in a second filter train. The trains are starting to arrive on site now, which is pretty, I guess, exciting in my book. So they're actually setting the
There's been
thing.
fireworks, put it that way.
Very happy to.
Yeah, we've had some bottle rockets and stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, so a lot of the interior piping is set, so, and we're looking to hook up one of the filter trains here the next week or two. And then from there, to satisfy the health department, we're gonna do a demonstration test just to show that it does work and does filter water. And then once that gets done and approved, we can actually tie that in with the rest of the trains, and then from there, we'll start replacing the trains from there on out, so. It's progressing
Can
nicely, I
you
think.
just define what a train is?
Oh, it's a filter train, I guess. It's gonna be 2 pressure filter tanks, kind of like your pressure filter tank in your basement, but it's got sand in it. And I call it a train because each one can treat a certain gallons per minute. So we need 4 separate, I call them trains, but units to treat like 35 gallons per minute to equal the usage you guys use in a day. So we have 4, we're going to 5. The 5th one's getting installed now, and then once that gets operational, we'll start taking down the old ones, which are ready to be removed.
And then our first test will be filling the pool.
Oh,
Yep. Yep. And then, once we get the water line done and the treatment plant done, then we're gonna rehab the tank on the hill and replace water meters after that.
Yep,
All that came from the fund.
yes.
Just one more question. I think water main coming down, everything is going to be changed to the shutdown. The choice is copper or galvanized from the home to the shutdown. But when you're doing the main, you're doing everything down to the shutdown? You have to because you're switching pipes.
Everything's good.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
You're getting a brand new copper service with a curb
Got it.
valve for every service all the way down through.
So that means in the future, something happens to somebody, it's only $2,000 and not $15,000 all the way to the main, at least for the
Correct.
foreseeable future.
Right.
All right?
Being that it'll be a new lateral up to the curb.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't be posting a bond to the DOT, you won't pay the DOT, you won't, that's save you a lot of money. It's gonna be a big plus for you.
Okay, I thank you all for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I interject something?
Sure.
Welcome to
Talking
stay for
about
the town board meeting.
the curb cuts. There've been letters been sent out to people mostly up in their late 80s, almost 90 years of age, supposedly coming through AARP. It's the representatives of the corporation, and they're advising the people to upgrade their curb
Then you
service,
leave.
from the curb cut to the house. I think it's a gimmick because nobody else has gotten it, just the people of a certain age.
Do you have a copy of the letter?
Well,
Yes,
it's
I
lead
give it to
free,
you,
everything's
and-
lead free now.
To get a hold of AACP and ask them if they know what this corporation
Yes.
is doing. Because they're not qualifying everybody, they're all picking up certain people, so.
Right.
You know,
The
when-
letter is trying to convince people to get insurance for it.
But this is actually something that's going around because New York Rural Water offers the same service. You can buy an insurance policy to protect your water line. So it's just going around more and more. It's just literally insurance, just an insurance policy.
Yeah, but they're only sending people that are almost 90 years of age.
That are members. You have to be a member of AARP to get the letter.
I'm a member, I didn't
Okay.
get one, but my
Okay.
neighbor did, she's 90.
Okay. But yeah, no, it's not a ripoff. It's definitely not a ripoff, yeah.
It sounds kind of funny that they're not advertising.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you just to get your, no, it's like I said, these reputable firms are actually selling insurance.
Mr. and Mrs. Barrett, thank you very much for coming. Okay, we have to finish our meeting, gang. No problem, I'm sorry for the meeting.
All right, it was good.
Okay, the next two items are the highway truck and dump truck body. Bob, do you want to speak on that?
I'll stay in here. Basically, during my presentation for the 284 earlier this year, we were going to refer to two of our smaller trucks. The one truck's engine went, and the truck is definitely, we wouldn't recoup our money if we put a new body on it and a new engine in it. It just wouldn't work. So, talked to Jeannie, money is available to do this. So part of that truck, which I would like to recommend that we go for the Dodge, which is the higher of the two recommended for the prices that you have, but that is more comparable with the Fords that's going to be replaced.
So it's the best value.
Huh?
The higher price is the best
It's a better value.
Better value, better, heavier duty truck, and, you know, I'd say the small trucks do a lot of work in the town, you probably see it around. So how that would work would be, we'd be taking $25,000 out of my capital equipment, and the remainder out of our unexpended funds from last year.
Does this truck pull floats?
For next year's St. Patty's Day
Yeah.
parade.
Okay. All right, that's no question.
So, the plan is to use some of the money from Bob's highway equipment, capital highway equipment, but we'll pull the rest of it out of the unexpended funds. Because he has a decent amount of money still in there, so that's what we're gonna do. Rather than taking a bond out, it doesn't make any sense when we have money in
No.
And all that money we get from the street festival, we can't buy a truck with it, right?
Well, for the people that shake down on James Street.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions about this project? We're gonna approve it next week.
No.
Details are on the resolution if you have any questions. Thank you, Bob.
And the other one?
Huh?
The other one?
Oh, you can talk about that too.
So this way I can do it.
Go ahead.
It's part of the 284 that I did, we were going to put the two dump bodies. That is the dump body price that was the best out of the three that I got for you. That's from
So that's just the
Hudson,
lowest price.
Hudson River body, and they were the only ones that had in stock also. As part of the bid process was to have it delivered in 45 days, and the others couldn't. So it was a win-win.
Great. So,
And that's going to be voted on next week?
we'll vote on it next week. Okay, so I just want to make sure that the unexpended funds.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
So the the next thing is just to let you know, we've been talking about this for quite a while, the establishment of the Bloomington Fire District. We do now have the details worked out for that, and we will be, I think in your packet, you're going to see the 5 commissioners that were recommended and the treasurer. This is subject to a permissive referendum, so if we approve it next week, we'll need that extra time to, we'll need another month to keep it for the permissive referendum, which means that rather than the May start, it'll be a June 1st start. So that's pretty much, the resolution will have those changes. The date, June 1st, and the names of all those people will be added into the resolution. We have gotten a recommendation from the Recreation Commission for pool fees. And I think, I'd like you guys to kind of look this over. We're going to vote on it next week, do a resolution to make some comparisons. There's still a little bit on the low end. I know the Rec Commission wanted to see things be affordable, but we do have more expenses to manage.
Yeah, well, as I reported last month, they worked really hard to balance the community needs with the needs. A good job.
I do think, we should just take a second look at it though, because it is, it is where the money, a lot of the money that we're gonna be able to run the pool line, we have to pay the bond and all that, so.
There's no fee for non-resident single seniors. I assume that's also reflected
Non-resident,
on the schedule.
Just a little,
I think it's just seniors.
update.
Yeah,
Seasonal passes, the rates are from 2011, they're not from 2016 on there.
yeah.
For the seasonal pass.
Right, on this little spreadsheet.
Yeah, Jill put a spreadsheet just to give us
Oh.
an idea of what, there is a spreadsheet. I don't see that, Jill. Where is it? Oh, here.
The first sheet under
Oh, yeah, the
It's
first one.
Oh,
Right.
that's what,
But
So those are the
So I-
changes. Are these resident rates the same as they were?
No.
So,
right, but the
Just give me 1 second.
So the page after the spreadsheet is the 2011 fees, the page after that is the 2016 proposed fees? Yeah,
yeah.
should I?
Yes.
You want me to read?
thank you.
No,
People so simple.
no, I think we need
Looks
to
like a
review
50,
them.
yeah.
It's about us discussing whether we want to make any changes before we do this resolution.
The big difference is they're essentially the same for residents, but the non-resident fees.
So $50 increase.
I think if you updated,
Well, for the day passes and also for the season passes.
For the seasons, yeah.
But for the day rate too.
The day rate,
It used to be all the same.
when you think of for 5 years and then different vacation, that should go up.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Yeah, that's why I want you guys to look it over, because
Right.
I'm
There-
not sure that
Soon.
we're really taking into consideration what it costs to run.
So their thinking was that, so we've always charged everyone the same.
Oh, resident or not resident.
Yeah.
Non-resident fee should pay.
I
Daily.
think that was true.
I think daily, isn't it?
Non-resident families paid $350.
Oh,
So
for
no,
those
no, wait, I'm
residents.
sorry, non-resident was $300, and residents were $150. resident,
Single was one.
resident family was 150, non-resident family.
But the day rates were the same.
Right.
Which is what-
The day rates were the
The
same.
day rates were the same.
Whether you were a
Yeah,
resident or
yeah.
not.
Right.
Different
Right, but
day
they
rates.
we didn't raise it,
Right.
kept it the same.
They
We
raised,
did a
the
dollar,
they
you know?
they kept it for the same for the residents, but raised the non-residents.
Right.
But
And raised
I also
everybody
want to
for
point out just
annual.
what they based this on. They had, looked at, not just, they weren't doing this in a vacuum, they looked at
This is the recognition.
the recognition, looked at Memorialo's fees and, you know, all the other fees, and, these were in line with the fees being charged at other pools. The big difference between Rosendale and these other pools is that, you know, like Moriello charges a significantly higher rate for
Yes.
non-residents, so,
Yes.
so they felt that that was the way to
I
go.
don't know, I briefly looked at, do you remember what we looked at this afternoon, Joe?
I can do that, I'll do it.
Yep.
That's good.
It's more yellow pool, it's more than.
You're saying that a non-resident and a resident is gonna pay the same to
No,
use the pool?
no.
No,
We're
we're
not.
saying.
We're not saying that.
It's two
Oh,
different
okay.
rates. It'll be two different rates.
Two different rates.
In the past, it had been the same for the day rate,
Daily.
for daily rate, but now non-residents will be charged more
I
under their
still
proposal.
think that when you look at, you know, the rates, an adult paying $5 in 2011, which everybody thought was a reasonable fee, and now, 5 years later with a new pool, still $5 is, I don't know, it seems like, you know,
To be commensurate with the rest.
some kind of increase, maybe not a huge increase, but, you know, even if we said, you know, 6,
Six.
4,
Yeah.
3, you know, that kind of.
Right. I mean, especially if
Well,
you're
the-
considering that children are gonna be there with adults, they come for a large chunk of the day, utilizing the services, the new bathhouse and lockers.
I also think, you know, when you look at a there are some pools that have a limit in what a family is too. 5 members is the pass. Some of the other pools, that's what they do. I mean, you could say, we got 10 people in our family and we're paying $200 for the season. You know, that's very, very,
Something
very,
to consider.
you know, you're talking about,
Well, you can, right, something, right, that they didn't really discuss.
you know, so you might want to say, you know, X number of dollars for 5 people, and then X number of dollars for everyone over 5 people, or something like that.
I should have brought, and my apologies that I didn't, copies of the pool fees. The fees for the
Jill
other
just went
pools,
to get
but I-
them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, from the other,
And in their minutes that are included here, they say the rough estimate, this is from the rec commission, is they need to take in $1,600 a day to break even.
well, yeah.
That was,
Right.
Yeah,
They then
that's-
say, which is unlikely.
Right. And
Well,
it's not
especially if
gonna
you're only
happen.
charging $3 for a kid.
Right.
There all day.
But we've also knew.
1,600?
That is their estimate, yeah. That it's $120,000 per full season, they figure 75 days comes to $1,600 a day. They'd have to take in the break even.
Well,
Where are they getting that number from?
This is, I'm getting this out of their minutes.
But
I'm
how
not
did
sure
they don't know what the
details
cost is gonna be per year of the bond or
are. Yeah,
anything yet?
this is what they've,
They're
no,
they're
they've said
probably
it
just
was
looking
money.
at the running of the pool.
Yeah.
They're not considering,
all the-
still
Paying
paying
for
the
it.
debt too.
Yeah, I think that they were, right, probably looking at past budgets, like 2011.
Oh.
Steve?
Yes.
Moriello Pool, 2015 rates, and New Paltz residents is $6. Non-New Paltz residents is $10 for daily admission rates.
Okay, New Paltz was what?
Six.
6 for residents?
6 for over 12,
Over 12. And how much for
10
non?
for over 12 for non.
That's what I remember somebody else telling me.
And there was discussion of that, the fact that, you know, they're non-residents, it's very
I know.
expensive, but they're higher resident fees. But, you know, I mean, we're gonna have great, beautiful pool facilities. They
Yeah.
have like diving boards and sprinkler things and a lot going on there, you know, so.
Right. Well, New Paltz charges more for it.
Well, the Andrada Pool in Kingston for 2015 non-residents was $5. And that's like, not much bigger than some people's private pools.
How about the Hurley pool?
I couldn't find that online.
But you had the county pool.
The Ulster, yes, when you're down here. Fees for Ulster County didn't break it down. For resident, non-resident, it was $5, for adults 13 and over.
Of course, their funding is from all over the whole
Yeah.
county.
Right. I mean, there was a range, like New Paltz's was the highest, and then, you know,
Because they're paying for a new pool, that's why it's the highest. You know, they have fairly, I mean, how many years old is that pool?
What's the rate for under 13?
3.
We're trying to
$3.
decide, Jack, that's the
Actually-
whole thing, we're not sure, you know.
right.
4 to 16.
The rec
That's the other
commission
thing.
proposed $3.
$3 for 4 to 16. You don't pay adult fees until you get to 17 years old. Everybody else is doing it 12 and over.
Yeah, it's when we're
Right.
12, 13.
Right.
My kids, my twins just turned 12, and we went to the movies, and it was like, oh. Double the cost.
You can handle it, Jen.
I know, I'm just saying, it's like 12, and it don't really.
Well, so they have here on the last page that they're saying that it's worth $120,000 for full.
That's what I was saying. That's what I read.
Yeah, because it's-
But they don't say where they come up with the numbers.
I gotta go look at my budget, but I wanna,
You do
maybe,
that operation.
I'm not sure. I'll have to go look. That could be the bond and the operations.
Yeah,
Because I
it
wanna
must
say
have
it's
been
like
taking this year's budget.
65,000, I think.
Yeah, 'cause
might
that's
have
a lot
been.
of money.
I think 65 is the running of the pool. I wanna say around
they-
60, 65 or
So
something.
they use that to make that.
So they
estimate.
might have added that in there. But the question is that gonna bring us in, is their estimate bringing us in what we're looking for?
No,
No. So that's,
Yeah,
where's the,
it's-
that means the budget has to go up that much more to make that accommodation.
Well, from my
So-
understanding, the pool has never, has always been subsidized by the town.
Yeah, but let's talk
So
about,
that would be great. I think if it were 6 and the lower rate were 4 even, that would help.
No, they also added summer camp, $10 per session.
but they're not doing that. because
They're not.
We're not doing it.
They're not doing
No,
their camp fees.
no, we're not doing that, because we raised camp fees last year, and, we may have to do that down the road, but we didn't want to do another big raise in the camp.
what about the other items discussed on that page?
The swim team.
Brookside and swim team?
Well, I would
Brooks-
definitely,
Brookside, there was a suggested increase to.
Well, I had a long talk with Tara, and that's something that we wouldn't vote on here, because I feel like that's a contract
Yeah, that is
negotiation.
a
private thing.
Yeah.
So we'll work on that. I'm not, I know that the rec commission made some recommendations, but we're gonna have to go back and see what we can negotiate with them. But,
So-
there were some other things we talked about, like, adult swims early in the morning for laps, we should have a fee for that, a separate fee for that, I think. So people could come in and, they're there for a half hour and do laps or whatever.
Right, especially
People
when there's
are-
not
when
fish
there's-
splashing and all
Right,
that,
right.
people like that.
So I think that, that's another revenue that we could look at.
I would kind of spend a
So
good
if you're
amount of money.
paying,
Yeah, right.
Especially to be in an
paying
outdoor pool.
$6 for, or whatever, $5, $6 for a whole day.
No, but that's gonna be a separate fee to do.
I know, so you're
Uh-huh.
charging more for 1 hour.
I didn't say it was, I didn't come up with it.
Well, we can come up with,
Could be-
people would want to
could
do
be
that
separate loan.
multiple times, or
Mhm.
maybe by session or something. 'Cause
I
would
mean,
pay-
what do they pay to go to the gym or the Y, I don't know.
Nothing.
But, so yeah, and we also have to think about seasonal memberships too.
I think these are very low, these seasonal memberships. You're not even, if you're talking about family of
Well,
5,
Yeah.
paying $200.
They are very, very low.
That's insane.
For
$200.
single people having to pay half as much as a family
Yeah.
of 5.
Well, family of 5.
Single
pay-
is 100 and a family is 2.
What are we talking about in days? How many days of, is we're open if you say?
So we're focusing on.
Again, according to the
Six.
it's 75 days.
So if you say divided by 70, so 200 divided by 75 is $2.66 for 5 people to go swimming every day.
Yeah, sorry.
Well,
Not that they go in the
right, I mean, there's.
Right, you're not gonna go
there's a
70.
huge
Yeah, more yellow
volume
family rate.
discounted.
Family rates.
Oh, of course.
We never,
resident?
we never got our money's
Yeah.
worth when we did the season.
175.
It was always a bad deal for
So
us.
I remember that, so the
The other
the
thing
more
is
yellow
some- a lot
family
of
is
schools do
175.
Family of 4, and then $40 each additional member.
Person.
Right.
They limit
Or
your
could,
families.
I mean, could there be,
Oh, okay.
could there be a low rate for a portion of the season? Because some people know like they're gonna be
That doesn't
gone.
do us any good.
Like
The
the-
whole idea of that is so that we get
Revenue.
money
Yeah,
up
we
front
need-
to work
What's
with.
the non-resident?
But I mean, like, there's some families, this is what they're gonna do
season
all
pass.
summer
No, I
long.
don't think that's.
It's not really
Family.
equity.
Yeah, just pay it daily.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, so ours is a little
we're gonna end up voting for this, I think, in May. So, you know,
Good
here's,
time.
here's the,
Right.
the
But they
list.
Take it back to the.
Thank you.
Right, I can
Yeah.
bring it back to them.
Yeah, and just say, you know, we think there's gonna be a little bit more
More
comparison.
money.
Yeah, we
We
need
need a little bit
money.
more money.
I can tell all the pool ones, and then this year, I think you can just go online and pull up.
But
Although, are we still doing like cool things, like people can purchase like season passes?
That's what,
Like funds towards the pool in general,
Oh,
even
yeah.
if they're not using them and all that kind of stuff?
What
You know,
is-
like, what else is still happening with fundraisers for the pools?
Well, what's happening now is the bricks. That's what we're
Right.
we're pushing for, the bricks to get the lot. We just had a donation yesterday from Anita Peck for $1,000 in memory of Arthur Mulligan. So, you know, people are still thinking of pool
That's
and, you know, I think we should still encourage that, but I think
Yeah.
now we should be talking about, look, we're gonna be putting that base down for the deck, and we'd like to have some nice bricks to put around, and the more bricks we have, we're gonna have, you know, people, you know,
yeah,
you could put your family name, you could put, you know,
should
your-
definitely sell them at half.
Make it as something all the.
oh, we will.
all
We'll
the
continue
area
to sell
businesses
them,
could do.
and, yeah. I
So-
mean, but this is the last kind of hurrah before the pool's done, is get those bricks done.
That's really cool.
Yes, Jack?
Good idea.
Question, we're talking about families and the pool, and I know it's very difficult, and it's impossible for a single individual, but as a town board, if you can get that speed limit of 55 miles an hour taken away from our busiest section where we have our children and families going,
You talking about on?
the state highway,
front of
why
the
they put a 55 mile an hour speed limit there?
Yeah.
I
Rec
had
center, right.
an unbelievably challenging conversation with DOT about that. It was really quite unbelievable.
I mean, do we have to go into the
They-
newspaper and
they-
get a group together and
I-
protest?
To me, it's like so obvious, right? You've got a 55 mile per hour speed limit, like right in front of your rec center where kids come in from the
Yeah.
pool and
With a
everything.
turning lane.
And they said, well, you know, if traffic is going that fast, then we're gonna have the higher speed limit. You know, if traffic was going 35, then we would reduce it.
Well,
And I
if
was
they-
like, well,
if
why
they-
don't you reduce the traffic because of the need? But
Yeah,
anyway,
take
it
the
was a very
40
frustrating conversation.
Take the 40 out of the main street and put it down to 30 and going over the bridge 30 miles an hour. And then when you get to the rec center, maybe go to 40.
Now, we understand your concern and we agree, but I think that's a battle for another day. 'Cause we
Yeah.
definitely-
Yeah, I know,
I
but
mean,
I'm
it's
just
an
suggesting
ongoing
that we're
battle,
talking
let's put it
about the
that way.
families. and
We
all
have
that.
some,
ongoing
we have
battle.
some issues with, you know, other stuff with DOT, let's get those
Just to
ironed out.
interject
Yeah.
one other stupid remark from the county was I asked, how come there isn't a pedestrian crosswalk at St. Peter's Church and School? And the answer was, there's not enough walkers. So I said, oh, my 3 kids on James Street can get hit by a car, it's okay? It's the busiest intersection in Rosendale,
Right.
and there's no crosswalk,
At the stop sign,
right? It's not, yeah, it's a stop sign, but you don't have a
Good point,
crosswalk.
Jack.
yeah,
So Saturday night and Sundays,
yeah.
and they said the church has to ask for it. This is what we're dealing with the state and the county.
When was that? When did you?
When I got the stop sign put back on the hill going up,
We were, yeah, you and I were doing this, working on that.
yeah,
These
but
things
that's
at
what
the
they
same
told me,
time.
I
So
said,
they
how
put
come
in-
there isn't a cross,
So I
the church
got
has
them
to
to
ask for
agree to
it.
put in stop bars, which they put in.
Yeah, well,
But,
the other thing, I haven't put a stop line down at the bottom of the bridge yet either.
I know, and that has to go.
All right, so I don't wanna beat this up tonight, I just want everybody to take a hard look at it, make some comparisons, try to figure out what might,
So I have a rec commission meeting in a week, 2 weeks. Oh, not this next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. So if you have thoughts or want to talk to me
20th.
about
I think
it.
tomorrow, next Wednesday, let's come back with some suggestions,
Good.
and
Okay,
then you can
good.
take that back to the rec commission.
Okay.
But, it's ultimately the town board's decision. We appreciate that they have spent time evaluating this, but I'd like to put a little bit more thought into it, see if there's any things that we can, all right.
So,
You're gonna jump
so
over
we-
the box.
okay.
Did you have something you wanted to mention?
No,
We skipped over it. That was a concern.
so what do you want to do?
Creek box.
Okay, we're gonna skip ahead to the resolution lowering the speed limit on Creek Locks Road in the Binney Water area between the Rosendale Town Line and continuing southbound through Winchell Lane. Resolution 4/2016-1. Whereas the town of Rosendale desires to protect the health, safety, and well-being of its citizens, and whereas there is an immediate need to reduce speeds for vehicle traffic to ensure the visibility and overall safety of the residents and visitors to the area, and whereas the town of Rosendale Chief of Police has made recommendations for reduction of speed from 40 miles per hour to 30 miles per hour on Creek Locks Road, beginning at the Rosendale Town Line and continuing southbound through Winchell Lane. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale hereby authorizes the town clerk to write the necessary letters to New York State and Ulster County to request speed limit to be reduced to 30 miles per hour.
I second that.
I did learn when you contact the county, they are the ones that contact the state from the last one. And
So do we need to change the language now?
No, it's fine.
I just wanted to. Roll vote, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Absolutely.
Councilman Persofsky,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney,
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes.
So I would just like to congratulate the residents of Creek Locks Road in that 1 mile new kind of hamlet speed zone district for getting together and just coalescing as a group, and also to fairly new resident to town, Sean Crimmins, for drafting all the documents.
Bringing it to the town board's attention.
Yeah. Sean's a civil engineer.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have some more hoops to go through with
Yeah.
that before it would change, the county and the state. Cases component.
First step.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Creek Locks.
So long, Creek Locks.
Okay, Jen is going to make a motion to send another letter to
Yeah.
New York State DEC, based on the letters that we received from New York State Thruway Authority and the DEC regarding co-lead agency. And we would like to sign this letter tonight. So you want to make that motion, Jen?
Sure. I'd like to make a motion for the town board to sign and send this letter to the New York State Department of Environment Commissioner, Basil Sagos.
Did we decide that it has to go to everybody?
No, we don't need to do that.
Just to DEC.
Just to the DEC.
Just so you want to know that, Mandy.
Let's see. Should we keep it simple, or do we want to say
Make it
what
simple,
says?
please.
Okay.
It's pretty much a repeat, just to be on
Right,
record.
to express the town's views
So,
on the lead agency question for the seeker review of the Pilgrim Pipelines project. And our continued belief that only the DEC is the appropriate lead agency.
that one. I'll second that.
And Jill, you proofread.
Roll call, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Yeah.
Councilman Kuzlowski,
Yes.
Councilman McCartney.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes.
Thanks for your work on that.
I'm going to pass my pen that's blue, and would each of you sign both copies?
Thank you, Jen.
Yeah.
For explaining.
Just want to remind you guys. Wait a minute, take the blue pen.
Oh, jeepers.
I think
You
this
gave
one's
me
blue
instructions.
too.
Actually, don't take the blue.
Back when you're done.
You're
I'll talk
reminding
my
us.
eye.
Yes. I would take a blue pen.
Just remember, when you guys make an issue of these last minute things that you don't want on the agenda, okay?
There you go.
We have an important thing.
Sometimes things come up.
Gee, that was my line,
I
wasn't
know.
it? That was my
I
line.
know.
It
was
Here,
cruel.
You go.
But I've been waiting for Mary Lou all day.
Oh, that whole.
Yeah.
Mary Lou's fault.
Dumb
I'll pass the
idea.
buck.
You guys think a little different now, huh? Think a little different? Change up your mind?
She's on the other
Nope.
Yeah, you do.
side. Well, with
Only
flexibility.
Thank you.
Right.
What did I just?
Last time, very dark.
Good job.
Last time, I
Who's
was
that?
Yeah.
signature didn't copy.
Okay.
All fine. Bowls, copies. Didn't miss a line.
All right, good.
Wow.
Actually, we can pass that right to Mandy, right?
Yeah.
You want it? You want it, or you want her to have it?
She'd have one.
One to Mandy.
So you can, I email them a copy.
All right.
Yeah, they never respond, so I don't even know if they read it.
But you should definitely email for.
You didn't put that in
It says it on the letter.
All right, you can talk about it later. All right. I'd like to rescind the 2015 year-end budgetary transfer for the highway.
I'll second that.
That's resolution 2016-2. Whereas the town board of the town of Rosendale approved a budgetary transfer on January 13, 2015, resolution 1/2016-10, which did not take place. And whereas the money can be found in 2015 highway surplus, now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Rosendale rescinds resolution 1/2016-10.
I second that. Thank you.
And just so everybody realizes, we will be using that money, that's why we're going to the unexpended funds.
For,
Right, for Bob's equipment, yep.
it. Roll call, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor.
Yes.
Councilman Kuzlowski,
Yes.
Councilman McCartney.
yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
And we are, yeah. So this is the, we just talked about the bridge work that had to be done for the Water of Maine. So this is the amended seeker to allow for the bridge work to be included in the project. So resolution, is it 3?
Yes.
4/2016-3. Amend seeker for water system improvement project. Whereas the town of Rosendale has been established as the State Environmental Quality Review Act lead agency for the Water System Improvements Act, project, and whereas the town of Rosendale has entered into an agreement and establishes Barton LaJudas PC as its engineering consultant for the seeker process for the Water System Improvements Project. Whereas the project is classified as unlisted action or seeker, regulations New York CRR 10, Part 97, based upon the review of the town's engineering consultant for the project, thereby requiring a determination of significance to be made. And whereas the town engineering consultant has provided an environmental assessment form, the long form, based on engineering and environmental studies performed during the conceptual design of the project, whereas the information contained in the environmental assessment form, a copy of which is annexed Tier 2 and made a part hereof, has been reviewed by the town, whereas in consideration of the information provided in the environmental assessment form, it is reasonable to conclude that the water system improvement project will not have a significant effect on the environment, and that the preparation of a draft environmental impact statement will not be required. And whereas in consideration of the letter stating intent to add the Keeter Avenue Bridge water line replacement to existing scope will not result in any environmental impact beyond what was identified and discussed during the original secret process. And whereas the reasons supporting this determination, no significant effect, are set forth and reaffirmed in the notice of negative declaration, which is annexed here to immediate part hereof. And whereas the changes made to the project are depicted in the attached map, now therefore be resolved that the town of Rosendale as a secret lead agency hereby determines that the updates to the water system improvement project will not have a significant effect on the environment, and that a draft environmental impact statement will not therefore be prepared. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to establish and maintain a file readily accessible to the public containing the secret documents referred to herein, and the town's resolutions pertaining to the secret aspects of the project.
I second that.
Roll call, Councilman Hughes?
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger?
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski?
Yes,
Councilwoman McCarty?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
there are some really scary photos.
These
on the
are
back of that
really
packet.
scary, so I
It's
know.
a
I
really
was-
safe.
they
So
are.
is the county gonna fix this? And is this the breakfast?
That was only scary till I got like two more down to, once the line was charged.
I mean, this
Sprinkler.
is.
Yeah, how about the water line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that's getting replaced, not the bridge.
Yeah,
The
is the
bridge.
question, are we gonna put that sidewalk back as good as it is now?
Yeah, just as good.
Yeah.
Thanks again to Jack for marking those.
Yeah, I'd like
Well,
to see
are
them
they
patch
gonna
that
tear
side
up
up.
the sidewalk on,
Don't ask me that question.
it would be,
We'll
I
see.
hope they do.
When it gets there, they'll make an assessment.
Would they replace it right back? where it
That's
was
right.
there?
Right. Oops, we gotta put it down and chip away at it.
All right, change order 3 for contract 3A for the still pond. Resolution 4/2016-4. Still pond water treatment plant change order number 3 for contract 3A. Whereas the town board of the town of Rosendale entered an agreement with Bartlett Judas as the engineers and W.M. Schultz Construction as the contractor of the still pond water treatment plant improvement project, contract 3A. General construction, and whereas Bartlett Juice had made recommendations for change order number 3 for contract 3A to provide a remote monitoring panel at the water treatment plant. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale authorize supervisor to sign change order number 3.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Councilman Hughes?
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger?
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCarty?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
This might reduce the need for lights over there.
Okay, back a ways, we had done a bid for,
Security cameras?
is the, I don't have that.
You want mine?
Is this the chart?
It was,
I have the, yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't.
Yep.
It was right after the.
Second to last.
ladder,
Did I
well,
put it-
when we took
was
the
it
creek
attached
box
to
out of
something
order.
else?
No,
Yeah.
but it's in the back.
Only 2 pages.
Well, it was in order right after the one you just did.
Well, it's mine.
Tuesday.
So I was right.
Jill has it.
Jill has one for you if you want.
I was wondering if I stuck.
we don't have time to do that.
2 pages.
It was right behind the creek box.
Already been attached. I just don't know if it's attached to something else.
There's a typo.
Here it is, I found it. Resolution 4/2016-5. As you know, we had done bids quite a while ago for cameras, security cameras for the building. We've just recently gotten word that they're processing our grant for this, so we're going to go ahead and do this resolution. Perry Soul has been working closely with the contractor to, finalize everything, and the town of Marbletown has agreed to help us with the funding until the grant money comes in. So, authorizing installation contract for security cameras at the Rhinebeck Municipal Center. Whereas the Rhinebeck Municipal Center, located at 1915 Lucas Avenue, Cottington, New York, 12419, is in need of security cameras for monitoring and safety. Whereas the town of Rosendale had put out an RFP for bids in June of 2014, and whereas the town received 4 bids from Blue Dragon Connections LLC for $35,390, Fair Security Systems for $50,829.41, Business Track International Corp. for $29,980, and North and East Information Systems for $44,691. Whereas bids were open on June 24, 2014, reviewed, and whereas Business Track International had the lowest bid, and whereas a recommendation made to hire Business Track International Corp. for this project. Now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Rosendale hereby authorize supervisor to enter into contract for said services.
I'll second.
Who's supposed to be?
Oh,
He's the building guy.
oh, I
May I
did it because
second?
of the police. Go ahead.
We're tied. Rock, paper, scissors? I don't care.
Oh, it's
I owe
already-
you one.
Roll vote, Councilman Hughes.
Yes.
Councilwoman Nestor.
Yes.
Councilman Krasowski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Klein.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes.
So Jack, no more streaking through the parking lot.
Nope,
This is it.
5, John 1.
Summer's coming too.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
That's why it snowed the other day, I took my speedo out.
So,
You said it, Jack.
the next resolution, took a little jumping through hoops today. So there is a few changes that need to be made to the documents, but,
To these documents?
yes, but it was
As
just
long as
two,
Price isn't tripling.
no, same pricing. Just could not get all the paperwork done. People
Right.
were not in their offices and so forth and so on. But between engineers, insurance companies and all that, we were able to come up with the agreement. We'll change it tomorrow, but that's why we have in here that will authorize me to make changes per our attorney.
Okay.
Okay? Resolution contract for engineering services Weston and Sampson for pool bathhouse. Whereas the town of Roseland determined the need for a new pool in 2012, whereas the town received funding for New York Rising, Governor's Office of Storm Recovery, and whereas the town wishes to continue the services of Weston and Sampson engineers to provide us with construction documents for the Rosendale pool bathhouse. Whereas the firm of Weston and Sampson, 22 High Street, Rensselaer, New York, 12144, has presented a contract for pool bathhouse design documents. Whereas additional engineering services are required to the design to make the pool bathhouse storm resilient. Whereas Weston and Sampson has presented a contract to include additional engineering design. Whereas the details of which are stated in the contract attached here to are made a part hereof. Now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Rosendale hereby authorize supervisor to sign said contract. Be further resolved, the town board approval is subject to approval of the contract documents by the attorney for the town of Rosendale, and the town supervisor shall be authorized to approve minor changes to these documents as necessary and sign said documents. I will just point out a couple little changes on the certificate of liability insurance, just to make sure that it's properly documented. There is a blank,
Just get the date.
that needs to be filled in
Back to the
for how
first
many
page.
people are going to be,
Back to the first page.
Oh,
Oh. Sorry. no,
how many
maybe I was
people are
writing
going to
six.
be inspecting, on
the backup?
on page 11, 2.4.4.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't say how many people, so that has to be filled in. And on page 14, 7.1 will be removed because it's a limitation of liability, which our attorney has asked for that to be removed, and they have agreed.
So can I ask for that, is it gonna be Matt and John? Or is it just
No, it's engineers, their own inspectors. What do you mean,
No,
manager?
the training, the engineers that provide the line for the training.
Oh, I'm not sure, we haven't determined that. It could be Tara, because she's the,
That would make sense.
yeah, I'm not sure. I guess that's up to us to determine. We have a little time before we decide that. And it
We
could
have
be,
to
you know,
change.
it could be very simple things, you know, that we don't have a lot to deal with.
It's good to do those, like, I wish, you know, we had that for the geothermal and for, you know, other things, systems. People
Nobody
weren't trained for it,
Yeah.
and understand what's going on, and leaves the town in a lurch when something goes wrong.
And, you know, the other thing is, you know, we did pay for some of the work that was done to the bathhouse back in the original contract, but now with the New York Rising scope of work, it's changed, you know, it's gonna be, you know, heat and hot water and things like that are being put into the system, so we have to change.
Pizza oven.
Yeah. All right, who wants to second this?
I'll second that.
Wishful thinking.
Roll call, Councilman Hughes?
Yes.
Councilman Blacksberg?
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski?
Yes.
Councilman McBride?
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh?
Yes. Like to make a motion to adjourn? Oh, no, we can't do that. I have to
Pay
pay
bills.
Pay bills.
You're jumping the gun.
Man.
Darn.
Pay all that.
Well, you guys can
That
go
was
pay the
close.
bills, I'll leave too.